Grace and peace as we continue on our road trip with God this week. And we are on a road trip because God is always journeying with God's people. And we are forever moving, growing, going. Now, fun fact, and by fun fact I mean just the way it is. If you take a biblical look, God calls God's people to follow, to be on a journey. And when God calls, we don't get the destination ahead of time. So, how do you possibly pack for that? You don't. And the cliche, right? God doesn't call the equipped, God equips the called. So, you can't pack, you can't really be prepared, you have to trust. And in God we trust? Well, we have to. If we're going to go on this journey, we have to trust in God. And we just have to be able and willing to go. To know that God is going to show us the way, and we just faithfully go. And God will get us through whatever journey is before us. So when God called Abraham, or Abram, right, and Sarah, they didn't know where they were going to go. And when God called Moses, God didn't say, just this far. And that's one of the best examples of this. Because seriously, that journey should have taken not that long at all. But it took as long as it needed to take for what needed to happen. So when we go on this road trip with God, it's all in God's time, and in God we must trust. And our obsession with, I have to know what to pack, I have to know, I have to be in charge of the agenda, and I have to plan everything out, and I have to, all that has to go aside. God's journey, God's people, God's agenda. In God we trust on this road trip of life. Because in the end, we end up at home with God, ultimately. So let's let God be God, as if we have a choice in that matter anyway. In God we trust on the road trip of life. Amen.